Yeah, looking at those finishing times, we have 7:16:78. Sorry, 7:17:26, 7:17:59, and 7:21. So that was a tight finish there.
Really, really close. Now we've got the women's youth double semifinal one. Over in lane 0, we've got Chicago Training, White Quad Cities next to them. In lane 2, Pegasus, Great Bay in lane 3. Lane 4, Vashon Island, Atomic in lane 5. Lane 6, Elizabeth City, and Cambridge in lane 7.
A lot of storied history from Cambridge Boat Club up in Massachusetts.
Really known for their sculling as well. It's interesting to see over the course of youth national championships as well, just some of these repeat names that really focus on certain disciplines. And so you've got that sort of ecosystem of excellence coming out of Cambridge, but also Atomic. We just saw Great Bay in their semifinal do a fantastic job. Y Quad Cities in their men's doubles also perform really, really well. So looking for I'm not surprised to see such tight racing here.
Yeah.
Cambridge out in front. We've got neck and neck racing between Atomic and Elizabeth City for that second place position. And then that fourth place, currently Great Bay, but they still have contact with Vashon Island off to their port side and to their starboard side, Pegasus.
Yeah, but right now, that combination of Stroke, Emma Kirk, and really getting out in front. They're controlling this race quite really duking it out over there. Elizabeth City right now is slightly behind Atomic, and we'll see if they make a move. But they've been going neck and neck, and right now they're pretty much crossing their very tight race right there.
Yeah, and it seems like, as you said, crew from Elizabeth City heard it, felt it, and their bow balls are starting to change place. As a racer, as an athlete, that's the kind of race I want to have at this level. It's maybe first, it's nice to just win and door everyone, but is that really the
tough ones? It is the ones that challenge us that we remember most. But hey, being out in front with a nice cushiony lead is not so bad either.
Not so bad, especially in a semifinal, right?
Yeah.
And but what I see out of the Cambridge crew, they're not letting up. They still have that power, that send, that pop. You can tell that they're staying really internal, even though they're out in front. They're not doing just enough.
Yeah.
They're really digging deep here to say, what can we do? Because we're going to have a day of rest.
Yeah.
Between now and our A final if we keep up this performance. So let's see what we can do here.
And right now, tough to tell, but it looks as though that battle between Elizabeth City and Atomic is still going on. But there seems to be some rumblings over on the other side of the course with perhaps Pegasus and Y Quad City trying to insert themselves into the conversation.
And sometimes you get that. When you've got races within races, it pushes people back and forth. So you've got that fight between Elizabeth City and Atomic. They're on the top of your screen. And now near side, looks like that might be Great Bay, actually, in that yellow to blue transition boat. The darker shell next to them, Pegasus, in that fight. And again, top 4 advance from the semifinal to the A final. So Pegasus, they still have overlap. They're still in striking distance to try to get into that A level final.
All of these crews doing some great rowing right now. Back over to that action between Atomic and Elizabeth. And these young ladies won't quit. They have been battling all the way down the course.
I mean, that's what you got to respect about your competitors too, right? Like, they're there to keep you accountable. You're best when you've got that person, or that in this case is combination, right there with you. So Cambridge still on front, Elizabeth City and Atomic. We'll give it to Elizabeth City now at this point, but really close here for that 4th place position. That dark shell out of Pegasus, I think, is making a stab at it.
Yeah, they've definitely made up some ground on Great Bay, and they're continuing to move. We'll see. It looks as though Great Bay has decided to make a move, and they're going to see if they can hold off this advance from Pegasus.
And we can see our picture-in-picture here. We do have a start in the other semifinal for this women's double, so that's ongoing at the same time. But it's really great to see this close-up of Pegasus. Look here, as I'm watching, it looks like Pegasus, every stroke they're taking a move, trying to eat into the lead that Great Bay has over them. Great Bay seeing that, spotting it, they've taken up the rate now. They're now keeping the same distance from each other.
Yeah, and it seems as though they're moving up on that battle between Atomic and Elizabeth City. It looks as though Elizabeth City may have been able to pull out a little bit on Atomic, and we'll see if the pressure from Great Bay and Pegasus changes anything here as we move into that last 250 meters.
Again, when you see red and rowing, it means go. So I've noticed Pegasus, as they've crossed the red buoy, changed their rate so much, but I think they're thinking applying more power, get some more power per stroke, and they're sees Pegasus coming. They know that the threat is still there for them. Knows it. Maybe they have some gear shifts they can make in the last 150.
Yeah, and it looks as though Elizabeth City has put the pressure on, and they've managed racing from Atomic, but the real story right now is between Great Bay and Pegasus. What's going to happen? Great Bay's trying to make a move. Right now we have Cambridge crossing the line. They'll be looking to see what's going on.
And so we've got Cambridge out in front by open water. Elizabeth City coming in second. Great charge here by the back Atomic, and now good push by Pegasus right over Great Bay. That was a fantastic push, that last 500 meters. So you'll have that top four unofficially advancing into that A-level final of Cambridge, Elizabeth City, Atomic, and Pegasus. Great Bay coming across the line. Vashon Island we see now on screen. And now closing it out, Y-Quad cities. What a great race. I mean, Pegasus and Great Bay were in that kind of second cluster further back. In that middle 1,000, it wasn't really, of kind of quick momentum to get anywhere. But then they turned on the burners and really were able to surge right through. And great job, Great Bay and Pegasus, for using each other to get the best race.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed about that race was that Pegasus just rode consistently throughout it. They didn't really change much, but when they decided to apply the pressure, they really went.
It was effective. So this is the second semifinal on the course of that same event, the women's youth double. We have Sora in